they hop on, then they hop on. But I'm going to go ahead and record it just so that way if anybody can't make it and they want to watch the recording, they can. But welcome, you guys. Thanks so much for being on tonight. I know that Mondays are kind of crazy. Like, I'm sure all of you are just like, okay, I could just lay on the couch right now. It's like a sprint to the end of the day. But I know I feel that today. But I appreciate you guys being on tonight. For those of you who don't know, my name is Caroline Foster, and I'm Lauren and Ashton and Rose's upline coach. And I'll tell you guys a little bit about my story. If you weren't in the sneak peek or anything, then you probably don't know. So I guess I'll share a little bit and then we can kind of dive into things. But I became a coach almost 7 years ago, which is crazy. I was about a year into marriage. For me and my husband were newlyweds, and I signed up as a coach to kind of do this as a side hustle. I'd been working in corporate America for at that time about 3 or 4 years, I guess 4 years. And I loved my job, but I worked for a pretty um, liberal corporate company. And so I was pretty much the only Christian there. And I loved it in so many ways, but it was also really, really hard in a lot of ways. And especially being 25 and working for a company where like pretty much everyone was single and I was married. It was just a really difficult kind of place to be. And so I just kind of started dreaming about things that I could do and businesses I could start. My parents are entrepreneurs. They have a business with over 90 employees. And so I grew up just around like them and being their own boss and, just being able to, I always kind of felt like my mom was a stay-at-home mom, even though she worked, just because she could be there for everything. And so I just started to kind of dream about what that would look like for me. And, Brian's kind of the same way. His mom's a nurse, but his dad is kind of owns his own business. And so, we both kind of have that mindset of just that flexibility. And another thing too about like corporate America is not only was it really hard to be outspoken about your faith and be able to share, beyond just maybe a little conversation here and there. Also, you kind of are salary capped unless you're working in sales. There's not really a whole lot of room to make any more than you're making. I mean, you're lucky if you get like, a 1% raise or 3%, I guess 3% raise every year, year over year. And so I just kind of started dreaming about, other things I could do. And so I knew that I loved fitness, and I knew that I loved Jesus. I really loved Les Mills Body Pump. I don't know if you guys know what Les Mills is, but they have a lot of different workout platforms, and so I started looking into becoming a trainer for them. And then I also just really loved women's ministry, and so I actually kind of explored going to seminary and get in pursuing women's ministry or working in a church. And looked at a few different jobs where I knew I probably could get a job, and but just didn't have a piece there either. And so, long story short, my cousin actually was working with Michelle. Michelle was her coach, and she told me about Michelle. And it kind of all started because my cousin was looking amazing, and I kind of saw her body changing, and I was like, wow, what are you doing? And she shared with me, and she came to my house, and we did T25 together. And she wasn't even a coach, but I have no idea why she never became a coach, because she pretty much like recruited me to the business. And I'm like, think about where you could be. And then she's like, no, I don't want to think about that. So I started following Michelle, and I just kind of saw her life, and she was kind of one season ahead of me. At that point, she had 2 kids. She had just had her second. And, I'm a newlywed, and I'm thinking about life with kids and what that could look like. And I just saw her like working out in her bonus room with her kids crawling through her feet. And I was just like, that's so cool. At the time too, the workout program that I really loved, Beachbody was actually distributing it. So I saw her doing this workout program I loved that I thought was only available in gyms, in her house, in her, bonus room with her kids. And I was just like, man, that's so cool. So I jumped on the phone with her. I honestly had no intention of like really trying to start a business or anything. I was just like, I wanted to be freed up from constantly thinking about getting to the gym. I felt like my whole life revolved around that. It was like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna like go to this meeting and then I'm gonna race to the gym to get there to get my spot and I'm gonna take the class and then I'm gonna, and for me, it was right in the middle of the workday. So like it was super stressful. Like I hope my work doesn't call while I'm there working out. Like, I mean, it wasn't like I was doing anything bad, but you get the point. Like it was still kind of like maybe a little gray area. And so it was just super stressful because the whole time I was just worried that someone from work was going to call me. And so I really went into it of like, I just wanted some freedom in my own health and fitness. And so long story short, ended up get on the phone with her. And I hung up the phone and I was like, I'm going to sign up as a coach. Like, let's do this thing. And so the first few months, I just like kind of shared my story and my journey. And I was just like Caroline Foster Fitness. And I was on my porch. I remember just praying, like, Lord, what direction do I want this to go? Like, because no route is really a bad route, if that makes sense. Like, it would have been totally fine if I was just like Caroline Foster Fitness. And honestly, sometimes I wish I was still that, because doing it with anything to do with faith is gets so hairy so fast. And but I knew that the Lord kept telling me, like, there was some component of the faith aspect there. And so I remember sitting on my porch and just like praying about it. And I read something in my Beth Moore study. I was just studying that day. And it just like fit for his glory hit me. And I was like, okay, like that's it. And so I was like, okay, what will seal the deal is if it's available on Instagram. Like, God, if this is the direction I'm supposed to go. And then lo and behold, of course, there it is. Fit for his glory, no periods, no dashes. It was there. And so I signed up right then and there, started my Instagram account, transferred that over to Fit for his glory, and kind of just like went from there. I am the definition of building at a snail's pace in this business. You're going to meet a lot of coaches who they've been in it for 2 or 3 years and they've already surpassed me in what they've done in the business. But while that has definitely been frustrating at times, I'm also really thankful for it because I was really able to build like a firm foundation in this business. And, you know, this business is very different from most network marketing companies in that, like, you a couple of things. You're not going to make money super fast. You're not going to come in just being like, oh, I'm setting the woods on fire. And while some people don't like that, I'll just be honest. I do think it kind of helps you focus more on serving people. I do think it is something where, you really have to surrender early on. Like, okay, why am I doing this? And so instead of it being challenging and frustrating, I really am like, okay, God, what are you teaching me through this? And part of that is just being consistent and serving people. And I love what Lauren says. And she said this recently on one of our calls last week, is like finding joy in the task that you do as a coach and connecting with people and talking to people and getting on the phone with people. And I'll be totally transparent in that we can give you all the tools. We can tell you every single thing to do in this business, but what you do and the pressure you put on yourself in this really comes down to you. And so I see so many women who they find so much joy and community in this business, but I also see women who crash and burn. And I will say that the people who find joy in this business and find joy in the day-to-day task are the people who are really truly working with a holy hustle, in that they show up, they do their work, they get it done, but they also are really good about just like stepping away from it as well. And so I always tell my coaches, I'm like, get your work done, connect with people, but also like detach the feelings of like, if X doesn't happen, then my life's over, or I'm a failure or whatever, and really surrender those results. And so I always say, I love what my upline told me once. She said, work like it depends on you, but know that it doesn't. And so you show up, you do the work, but you trust that at the end of the day, God's going to take care of those results, and whatever happens with it is up to him. And usually the women who are striving, who all they do is just think about numbers, 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 and they are not thinking about people, are the people who get burnt out and the people who crash and burn, because they don't have boundaries. They're working around the clock. They don't take a Sabbath. They don't, they're so focused on like, how quickly can I grow, that they get themselves burnt out. And then they kind of really honestly, they kind of start to resent the business because they started to make it an idol and they started to turn it into something it was never meant to be. And so I just want to encourage you girls in that. I think that knowing that from like day one right now, you're probably not going to hear many coaches talk about these on a new coach mentorship. Most people are going to get on here and be like, okay, let's go, success club. But I think that's really important, because if you don't have those boundaries from day one, like, our goal is that you work this business with a holy hustle. Like we said, we want for you to, we don't ever want this. I mean, if you, I don't know if you girls are married, if you have kids, we don't want this to take away from those things. Like, we want, if anything, for these to enhance those things. Like, this was never meant to be something that your husband resented. We want for him to see change in you, and him to be able to say, like, I'm so glad that you're doing this, because I just see how it's made you better and the joy that it brings you. So that's our goal. So just know that that's our heart. And so let's kind of dive into what you guys can expect from the new coach mentorship, and just a little bit too about our team and how you can really honestly get the most out of being a coach. I think in your own journey, but then obviously also in helping other people. So first things first, our team is called the Fit for His Glory Sisters. So your coach kind of has their own team and their own little thing that they do, and their own team names and things like that. But overarching, as far as my team and just as a whole, we're the Fit for His Glory Sisters. And our goal is truly, like, this is a business, right? This is not necessarily, I'm careful not to say it's a ministry. Now, is it a ministry in the way that we do business and we serve people? Yes, but this is a business, and so we do have goals. We do have things that, I mean, for a lot of women, this is an income for them to be able to stay home with their kids, or to, make extra money to pay off debt, or whatever it is that you're trying to do. We have women on our team who, they're like, hey, I'm taking my income this year and I want to put it towards missions or whatever. So everybody's kind of in a different place, and no way, none of that is bad. But I like to be transparent about that too, because obviously you guys know that, otherwise you wouldn't have signed up. But where was I going with that? Totally just left me. Um, but um, but yeah, so we definitely have goals for you guys, and your coach will talk to you about that. But ultimately, here's the deal: like, our goal is that we want to serve these women in health and fitness. We want to help connect women with these programs. They're going to buy Beachbody workouts whether they buy it through you or not. If that's something they really want to do, if working out at home is something they really want to do, they're going to find a way to purchase Beachbody workouts. And so our goal is like, hey, how can we be their coach? How can we be that person that comes alongside them and encourages them and helps them get results? Because these programs do work, and we want to help them do that. We want them to set out to get the results they're looking for, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we're reminding them that their worth is not found in a size, that their worth is not found in the way that they look in the mirror, that their worth is not found in those things. Those things aren't bad. We're stewarding our bodies well. It's okay to want to look and feel good, but let's not find our worth there. It is a slippery slope. And so our team is really like, really truly about like, hey, we want to point people to Jesus and we want to serve them. I always say fitness is our witness. And so this is just an opportunity for us to serve them, to be their coach, to do what we said we were going to do, to help them get results, because I think that's very important. But ultimately, pointing them to Jesus, it's an avenue for us to get to do that and to serve them. And so that's really what we want to be about. I think that this is just an incredible opportunity to get to know him. I mean, when you talk with some people about fitness, you get into some nitty gritty, trust me, some emotional stuff, some deep stuff. And so just to be able to walk with them through that is really, really powerful. And so that's really what we want our team to be about. I think that, the community that we have on our team is incredible. You're not going to find other Beachbody teams of like-minded women like we have here. A lot of teams are self-care and self-improvement and focused on all of that, and those things are not bad, but we know that, like, that's again not where our worth is found, and we are really working to serve Jesus, as any person should in any job. I don't care if you're a teacher, I don't care if you're a lawyer. If you know Jesus, you should work as unto the Lord. And the cool thing is for us is that we're doing that, but as a team, we're doing that. And So not to say that people can't do that and be on a secular team. Absolutely, they totally can. And if a non-believer came along and wanted to join our team, absolutely they can. But we're just going to be very vocal about the way that we do business. And so we pray on our team calls at the end. We pray over people whenever they, lead a team call for us, and not in a judgmental way, but in a way to just say, hey, we want to say thank you, and we want to just pray over you and pray for your business and pray that God will use you. And so it's just really an opportunity for us to even just be a light within the Beachbody network, of 450,000 coaches, just to be able to also be a light there. And so it's just a cool opportunity and a really cool space to be in. And I'm thankful because I've been on the side where I've worked in a corporate job where you can't really or even with teachers, I mean, you can't just walk around and be like, oh, let me talk to you about Jesus, or, compare things to your walk with the Lord or talk openly about those things. And so I'm very thankful to be within a company that we can do that. And I just think that's really cool and something that's really easy to take for granted, honestly, if you've never really been on the other side of working in a setting where you can't really do that. So that's a little bit about our kind of team and just how we're different. As far as how to take advantage of and really get to know the team and the community, I want to kind of touch on that really quick, and then I'll just talk about the logistics of the new coach mentorship and how it works. But let me just say that with anything in coaching, a couple things. You're going to get out of it what you put into it. Again, we can give you all of the tools, but you have to decide what it looks like. We are not your boss. We're not your mom. We're going to help you. We're going to direct you. But we're not going to drag you. And we're not going to beg you to do this business. We will share with you our goals for our new coaches and what that looks like. But again, it's your business. And if you decide hey, I'm just here to serve people and I love the community, that's totally fine. Just be transparent about that. The thing I never want to do, and I'm very, very hesitant in doing, is to push my goals on someone else. And so if you come into this and you're like, hey, Caroline, I just really want to serve people, and that's totally cool with me. That's what I'm here for. Awesome. I'm not going to be like, hey, want to do this, want to do that, if it's things that I know don't fall in line with your goals in the business. But if you come to me and say, hey, I hate my job and I really, really would love to in 3 years be able to leave my full-time job, then yeah, I'm going to help hold you accountable to those goals, or your coach is going to help hold you accountable to those goals. If I would have come into this business and just worked it like it was a hobby, I would have never been able to leave my full-time job. I just left my full-time job a year ago, actually almost a year, exactly a year ago. And the whole time I was working it, hoping to be able to leave that job eventually. And so we're never going to do that to you. But we also like to be super transparent in that you're going to get out of it what you put into it. And the community is the same way. One of the best ways to get involved in our team is, obviously your coach has already added you into the team Facebook page. So make sure that you go in, check it out, comment back, encourage other women. Just showing up there is huge. We have a team calendar pinned at the top every single month. It is updated usually by the 20th of the month for the next month. It's got all of our team calls for the month on there. Jump on the team calls. I always say that success leaves clues. And so if you want to get a lot out of coaching, if you want to learn from other people, get on the team calls. The second thing is get on the action hours. Action hours are basically a guided time for you to get on and kind of do your work for the day. People always ask me, how much time do I need to be a great coach? Honestly, I'm pretty sure most girls on this call would say, I mean, you can really do this business in an hour to 2 hours a day, truthfully. I probably right now work probably 3 hours a day. Sometimes it's less than that. Sometimes it's an hour. And so, just whatever you're able to give. Some girls are able to give more on certain days and less on other days. It's going to fluctuate, and that's just kind of the name of the game. But these action hours are really, really powerful because it really helps you get on, put your phone on airplane mode, and just get focused and get your work done. It's a guided time where the girl who was leading it will basically have a timer, and she'll have certain prompts for you to do throughout the call. We have 2 of those a week. One is kind of for women who work, so it's either really early in the morning or at night. The other one is typically like during lunch or nap time, just for those moms who are at home or ladies who are at home. The next thing is our Zoom morning workouts. So if you work out pretty much anywhere between the time of 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. Central Time Zone, there's going to be somebody on. This is the link that we use. This is called the Open Gym link. Every single morning, there's somebody on here. It sounds so silly, and people are always like, Zoom, like you just get on and mute yourself and you're just doing your thing. Like, yep. But there's something about looking around and seeing other people pushing themselves. I can't tell you guys how many times I've looked around and be like, oh yeah, that's that move in the workout today, or I just did it or whatever. Or just seeing these women like on there getting their action hour in, getting their work done. I'm like, okay, I need to go get my tracker done. But it's just so encouraging and so motivating to see other women showing up in their business and in their fitness, honestly, even just your fitness journey. I encourage all of my challengers to get on there. Most of them don't. But it is so powerful. If they would get on there, like it is a game changer. So lean into the community. Again, this community is one of the best parts of this team. I mean, it really is. We have Bible studies happening. These Bible studies are open to everyone. You do not have to make a purchase to join these Bible studies. Let me be very clear about that. So we invite everybody to be on these Bible studies. Anybody who wants to join us, if you got a friend who's not even doing Beachbody, but they just need to be in a Bible study, tell them to jump on. They're really awesome. And I love it because there's girls from all over the different walks of life, different seasons of life. And I don't know about you guys, but that's kind of hard to find, even in a Bible study in my church. And so, yeah, that's another cool aspect. But the community is huge. What else? Did I miss anything, Lauren or Ashton, about like just making the most of Fit for Square Sisters?
I told my girls too to try to meet the girls in the new coach mentorship and follow them on Instagram, and y'all will be best buds.
Yeah. And we have lots of girls who are going to be in there with you guys. They're kind of still being added. So yeah, get to know each other, follow them on Instagram. And I think too, like that is a big thing. It's like just finding people you can start to connect with. I know Ashton and Erica were in my new coach mentorship together, and they started getting on calls and be like, hey, you want to just like get on an action hour? You want to do this together? And I do just think that that's so powerful. Just finding people in the same season. I have people in my life who they're in the same season of the business as me. It's just good to have people you can be checking in with and kind of, we call them purpose partners. You guys are running, you're doing this, you're really just sharpening one another to kind of keep yourself focused on the purpose of why you're here. Um, okay, let's talk about the new coach mentorship really quick. And then I think we're good after that, unless anybody has questions. So the new coach mentorship, this is a self-guided, kind of e-learning course that we have put together for you guys. It's really, really awesome. We have been doing it since October of last year. But last month was the first month it was on this e-learning platform called Thinkific. There are 1 to 2 videos I found out today have not been working, so we're going to get those updated for you guys. But here's the deal. You guys can go as fast or slow in this as you want to. The message thread, I don't want to say every day, but every few days, a coach will pop in there and just say, hey, how was the assignment today? How are you guys feeling? Any takeaways, any questions? So the goal is that you're kind of going one a day at minimum. But if you're one day have 2 or 3 hours, you're like, I just want to knock this thing out and kind of be done with the assignments, that's totally fine too. You can totally work ahead. But these assignments really are like super powerful, help you really get your business going. We have taken like years of just scrubbing, okay, what works, what doesn't. And we have just found that this is really the best kind of setup. It's 3 weeks long and it's Monday through Friday. So basically 15 little assignments for you to do. And they're going to touch on everything from invitations to power pockets. I mean, just anything and everything that you could think of wanting to know about coaching. It is our leaders from the group. So all of our diamond coaches from the Fit for Glory Sisters who are on or who do the videos. So you're going to get to hear from a lot of different coaches, some who work full time, some who don't. And so I think that's also a beautiful thing, is just hearing from different women in different seasons of life and kind of like different seasons in the business as well. And so that's pretty much it. We'll have the Facebook message thread. That's where you'll be checking in. If you have any questions, no question is a dumb question. So please ask questions. Um, and use that as much as possible. Obviously, you've got your coach, but I think it just, like Ashton said, it's really powerful to try to get to know other people kind of in there with you. Um, I think that's everything. Any questions from y'all?
The Bible studies are every Tuesday night, right?
We have 3 different times. So, we have a Wednesday at 1:30, and we're on week 5 of that, or is that right? Yeah. So we've only got a few more weeks left of that one. Well, 4 weeks.
Have yeah, we still have 4 or 5 weeks
Yeah, because it's a 10-week
on
study.
Tuesday nights.
Yeah, it's 10 weeks. So yeah,
Mhm.
there's a Tuesday night, and Lauren's on that one, with Shay leads it, and Ashton. I do the 1:30 on Wednesday afternoons. I lead that one. And then Anna Bay just started another one. Is that Tuesday mornings?
Thursday morning,
Thursday morning.
I think at 8 Central.
Yeah.
Lots of opportunities.
Yeah. So it gives like 3 different times just for people. And obviously the one that just started with Anna
Anna Bay.
Bay. That's for like the newer girls, just like ones who just now started. So I think this is only week 2 for them. So the game plan is like whenever my 1:30 or whenever ours is over, um, on Wednesdays, I'm probably going to do another study after that. I haven't really, I'm a Lifeway, I do some Lifeway stuff too. So I'm probably going to be leading a study on Wednesday afternoons for that and just invite anybody who wants to join. So, um, the big thing is, and this is just, this is what I tell my girls. I just don't ever want to take away from the local body of believers. So I try to just, we don't have constant Bible studies going, honestly, particularly because of that. I really want to make sure that girls are involved in their local church, but also like I do know right now a lot of local churches are not even still doing small groups and stuff. So we just really wanted to do a Bible study just as a, community, but that's kind of that's the only reason we don't keep them going all the time. Is just I don't want to take away from girls getting involved in their local church just cuz I really believe in the local body of believers. So, um that's kind of why.
The times for the Bible study, is it like Eastern or Central, or is it kind of
Central.
mixed? Okay, just making sure.
Honestly, just know everything we talk about for the most part, people will be like, "Is this Eastern time zone?" I'm like, "Just go ahead and stamp in your head." Pretty much every time is everything. And part of it's my fault because I'm Central time zone. So I'm just like
Yeah.
8 o'clock. So just yeah, most everything is Central time zone. But I mean, yeah.
Oh, that's fine. I'm in Central time zone. My job is in Eastern, so I'm used to like switching back and forth anyway. So I just
Oh,
have to
that's
make sure.
funny. Wait, where do you live?
I live in Huntsville, but I work for a company in Atlanta, so I kind of bounce around.
That's funny. That's how it was when I was working my old job too.
Yeah.
But yeah. So most of the time it's Central. So any other questions?
The e-learning that, like you said, it's like little 15 mini assignments, like a 3-week thing. Where's that posted at? Or
So
will be?
I'm gonna post it in the message thread right after this.
Okay.
We were just trying to get everybody added to it. Technically, it was supposed to kick off today, but we're just gonna get everybody added to it, and then I'll post it because if someone gets added to the Facebook message thread, they can't go back. I don't think. So I was just trying to wait till everyone kind of got added before I did the post. It'll give you the link and it'll tell you how to do it. So
Okay.
I'll make sure that I post it tonight though, so that way you'll have it for tomorrow. Any other questions? Okay. Lauren, were you going to say something?
No, you like covered everything.
You nailed it.
Everything and more. Okay, well, let me pray for you guys really quick and then we'll let you guys go because I know we're already 5 minutes over. But Heavenly Father, God, thank you so much for tonight, Lord. Thank you for these incredible women, God. I'm just so excited about how you're going to use them, Lord. I just want to pray over their businesses and the women they're going to serve and um, just the work they're going to do, God. I just pray that you would prepare hearts even now, Lord. God, I pray that as they walk through this mentorship, they feel encouraged, Lord. We know that when we put our yes on the table, Satan does everything he can to try to destroy it and keep us from being used. And so, God, I just pray that even now they would know that that temptations and guilt and all of these things are going to come, Lord. But I just pray that you would help them to stay focused on what you've called them to. And I just pray that the enemy would stay far from them, God. Lord, I just want to pray for the eyes to see and the people to share with God, just to get to serve, Lord, in fitness, and then hopefully just point them to you. God, I just pray for your blessings in and over these women. Multiply their efforts, multiply their results, God. And I can't wait to see how you're going to use them. Thank you so much, Lord, for this night. And thank you for these women. And it's in your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you guys for being on.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Caroline.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye.